Welcome back to So You're Interested In, the show where I break down an artist's discography in order to give you, the viewer, the best possible jumping off point in order to get into their catalog. On this episode, we'll be breaking down the discography of the indie folk outfit The Weather Station. Originally formed by Tamara Lindemann in 2006, this Canadian group has seen a handful of musicians coming in and out since the group's inception. Not only have group members changed, but the music that they produce has also changed drastically. The growth of The Weather Station is immediately apparent, evolving from a country and folk-based project to a full-fledged experimental indie folk group. The growth of their music is immense, yet they still stay true to their roots. It can be intimidating to get into a band whose sound has changed so much over the years, so to help you out, I'm going to suggest 2 albums and 3 individual tracks that I think you need to be checking out if you want to get into The Weather Station. Let's kick things off with the albums. The first album from The Weather Station that I think you should be checking out is their self-titled 2017 LP. A gorgeous singer-songwriter record, this project is home to beautiful songwriting and even prettier lyrics. Take the hit single 30 for example. This track is all about living your life to the fullest while still being on the brink of despair. In this case, the total despair is the age-old worry that once you turn 30 as a woman, things will immediately go downhill. Instead, Lindemann combats this notion with an upbeat and catchy song that is sure to get you dancing. On the track You and I on the Other Side of the World, Lindemann flexes her ability to pen a thoughtful and lovely piece of art as she sings about how love is not a mystery to her because she can see. It's one of the many lines in this LP that establishes hope and is passionately reinforced by the rising strings in the instrumental. One last track to keep your eye on should be Power. A slow burner, this ballad is as cinematic as they come. Lindemann's vocal performance is more like spoken word poetry than it is singing, adding a new edge to this cut. Overall, The Weather Station self-titled LP is one that will help put this gorgeous band on your map. The next album to listen to from The Weather Station is their 2021 release, Ignorance. This was one of my favorite releases of 2021, mainly due to the experimental nature of the project. It's bursting with character and full of bright sounds, cloaking the dark lyrics in a shroud of happiness. On the opening track, Robber, Lindemann's vocals are simply sublime and are accompanied by the spacey keyboard chords and infectious saxophones. The sounds eventually swirl all together and burst like a balloon full of confetti. Then there is Parking Lot, which is my second favorite song of 2021 according to the video that I made a few months back. Goodness gracious me, the chord progression in the hook is pure bliss, while the vocals float on top of the instrumental like a feather in the wind. It is an immensely gorgeous cut that can make you cry while also simultaneously making you get up and dance. I think it's fair to say that the second half of Ignorance embraces darkness much more than the first, and Trust is a great example of this assessment. It's quiet, pensive, and thoughtful between the delicate keystrokes and elegant vocals. Ignorance is not only a wonderful record that shows off the growth of this band throughout the years, but it's also a perfect album to start off with when trying to get into The Weather Station. And that's it for the album, so let's talk about some tracks. The first track to check out should be Came So Easy from their 2011 release, All of It Was Mine. Gorgeous plucking guitar notes and heavenly harmonizing make up the bulk of this cut. Lindemann's layered vocals are varied and exciting, breathing an extra spice into this already jumpy instrumental. Came So Easy is also a great representation of The Weather Station's earlier work, acting as a marker for where they first established their sound. A wonderful song that should not be missed. Next, you need to listen to Shy Women from the 2015 LP, Loyalty. The evolution of this track is something truly beautiful and is mainly why I picked this cut. The instrumental starts subdued but eventually metamorphosizes into this dazzling cavalcade of strings. It never feels overwhelming. Instead, it feels incredibly powerful through Lindemann's emotional vocals. Shy Women is just a brilliant song that leaves you wanting more in the best way possible. Finally, you have to lend your ear to Endless Time from their latest release, How Is It That I Should Look at the Stars. Featuring a barren instrumental of only a piano and vocals, this track is sparse, but it thrives in its simplicity. It forces you to feel and understand Lindemann's lyrics in an extremely personal way. In reality, this is a lovely piano ballad that shows the maturity of the group, specifically Lindemann, throughout their career. It's absolutely worth listening to. And that will have to do it for this edition of So You're Interested In. All the albums and tracks will be located in the description box below. Obviously, you can scroll down even more to the comments section and let me know if I gave you any good recommendations that you ended up liking. liking. Maybe you are already a huge fan of the weather station and you thought that my picks were completely off. You can go down to the comments anyway and tell me how I'm wrong. I promise that I won't take it personally, but I will still probably cry myself to sleep. You can also suggest any artists that you would like to see featured on this show. I have a bit of a back catalog built up already, but hey, any suggestion is still probably a good suggestion. Be sure to subscribe for more videos just like this every single week, alongside a video series called Stacks of Wax, where I go through my record collection and I show off exactly what I got spinning on vinyl. And my well has run dry, so let's close this out by making sure that you go support your local record stores as much as you possibly can, along with the local artists in your area. And until I see you next time, happy listening.